takes a lot of effort. So, as I said, the one thing that will eventually matter is people. Each of you guys looking at each other right now don't obviously appreciate the value of the people around you right now. Take my word, few years down the line, what you are will be measured, will be tangibly related to whom you know and how much they look up to you and how much you look up to them. Right now it's just college mates, friends, still kids, going around canteens, scouting for food and money. But trust me, few years down the line, when you wanna do something, it matters that if you can pick up your phone and call 3 or 4 guys and say you're doing something, and they start talking about, hey, we're all from IIT, there's PAN IIT, there's IIT alumni, and all of that, and they still have some bonding. It's good and bad. Don't get obsessed with the brand IIT as such. Obsession is always bad, but at the same time, it gives you a nice synergy that later you can think about, hey, these are the guys I know. And when I talk about people, I always talk about one line that Eric Schmidt always keeps saying. He says, ace hire ace. So what it means is you'll only be able to hire someone good if you are good. And the downside of it is if you have a bunch of morons around you, you are a moron too. So this is very important skill to learn, especially as an entrepreneur. I'm sure everybody talks about it. The most important trait that you can possess is talk to someone who is smart and realizing that he or she is smart instantly. Maybe basically measuring someone who is good, and then ability to motivate and inspire and convince them to come and work with you, and keep doing that in the long term. That pretty much summarizes, or everything else that I'm going to talk about is going to be a result of that. If you can do that, even if you can do that for 2 or 3 people, you got to start basically. This is where Bill Gates did it. This is what Sergey and Larry did. This is what anybody whom you can think of did. They're very, very, very good at convincing people to work with them and motivating and inspiring them to keep working with them. And it is not a talent. It is not something that you're born with. It is something that everybody has to acquire. It is an acquired talent. It comes with your own self-belief. Obviously, if I come to office and work 9 to 5, and if I ask my team to work 24 hours, it won't work. So you have to lead from the front. You have to show that passion, that people, that imperturbable trust that you can. It's almost like you have to become a magnet yourself to attract people. Once you have people, that's all that matters in a company. A lot of people talk and think. At least I don't agree with the statement that you need an idea to start a company. You don't need an idea to start a company. Ideas are for making papers, patents. Ideas are for doing research. Ideas are for building, as I said, just something theoretical. You need the passion to build a company or to build something. Ideas will come. You don't have to wait for doing something. As I said, the real differentiator of an entrepreneur is that he's not defined by the ideas he has. He's defined by how he can take any idea in the world and build a product out of it. So you can start thinking. I'll tell you my story. We were initially, when we started, all we wanted to do was to work on video. That's all we wanted to do. And we were talking, and we were imagine those radio shows that you have where people call in and say, hey, I want to talk with so and so celebrity. we wanted to do it on TV with video. That's where we started. So we wanted to put people on air, on TV with video. And this was our idea. I mean, this was what we wanted to do in the beginning. And we are obviously not doing it right now. Someday, maybe if we get popular enough, CNN or Disney might agree to do it. But we realized that into getting into these big networks, all these CNNs, BBCs, obviously it's very tough to convince them as a small company. So we changed that, and whatever we built so far until then, we realized that it could be applied to video conferencing or video collaboration. So where I'm getting to is, initially where we started doesn't matter. We build a team, and every day we go and we say, hey, this is not working, we'll change that. Imagine if you come and work for a company, write code for a month, or do whatever development in your domain for a month, and on the 31st day, the CEO or whoever or the founder comes and tells you that, well, let's not do it. No, maybe it doesn't make sense, let's do something else. You just spent a month of your time, 24 hours, doing something, building something, and we might have to throw it away. So this is where the people portion comes across. The big companies are obviously have the advantage to plan and to have an infrastructure for having 6 months, 1 year planning, but a startup or a young company has to be nimble and versatile. So that is where people come in, and you need people who can understand and who can look up to you and who can say, hey, that's okay. I'll throw it away, I'll still work on something else. So this is the kind of people or passion that you want to build right from the beginning in a company. When I say passion, passion almost comes with frustration. You guys are all frustrated, I'm sure. I was frustrated when I was in the campus, for sure. It is only because you're all passionate to do something. It is only because you come with this exceedingly, I would say, in a way egotistic view of the world, saying, hey, I am a topper. I know I went through this, I know you all go through this, and you want to do something that is justifiably tangible to your caliber. And it is very understandable, and it is easy to get frustrated. But what really matters eventually is passion shouldn't actually cause frustration. Real passion comes with a lot of patience. I keep telling this to a lot of people. It comes naturally to hunters. Obviously they are hungry. Obviously they want to eat food. But you can't just go randomly hunt things. You have to sit and pout and wait for in 10 seconds or minutes to take your optimum opportunity to strike. Otherwise, you obviously won't be able to strike anything. You just keep going and blindly shooting someone. People can hit sometimes. It works for some people. Obviously, it works for a lot of companies also. But ideally, be patient. I know everybody has passion. What you need to realize at the end of the day, although there are only 6,000, actually when I was here, there were only 2,500 IITs coming out every year, BTechs, and then there are IITs. Although there are only 2,500 coming out, there are at least 30 or 40 other countries who are doing the same thing. Especially in the US, there will be at least a few tens of thousands of people who are equally caliber. And come on, they all have passion. So if you think that you're frustrated because you're special, you're not able to do something, that doesn't make any sense. There are millions of special people all around. All of them won't get opportunities at the same time. you won't get the opportunity in the 4 years, or you won't get the opportunity in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year. It is not in your hands. So channel your passion properly. So what it means is, let's say if you want to build a company in the future, if you want to manage few hundreds of employees, the first thing that you need is how you manage yourself. And that comes with how you can channel your energy and passion. So obviously, along with passion, you need lots and lots of brilliance. Obviously, you can't build a company just out of sheer luck. I mean, you can build a company, go sit somewhere and think of something. Again, there have been people who have built companies without being brilliant. They're brilliant in a different way. When I say brilliance here, I meant purely in the technical context. So people have built companies. Actually, Facebook is a classic example. Facebook is not a brilliant product. You all know. If you don't know, then maybe you should read more. Facebook obviously is not a brilliant product. What Facebook is Facebook started something that was fun, that was unique, and then they built when they saw a lot of traction, obviously, and then they realized that hey, this is something compelling, and then they built a lot of technology around it. But come on, what it is was really a website where people come in and chat with each other or talk with each other. So there are examples where initial brilliance is not required. But at the end of the day, if you are building any company or anything, you need lots of brilliance at some stage or other. It will be better if you have it in the beginning. So be prepared that you have to solve something that nobody else has solved. And you have to persist solving it. You have to keep doing it. Just because if you say, hey, I solved a challenging problem today, so I'll go sleep for the next week, won't work. You have to keep solving challenging problems every single day. I keep telling this to everyone, and I keep doing it myself. Every single night you sleep, you think about whether you did something really challenging that you're satisfied with on that particular day. And this has to be done every single day, 7 days a week, no weekends, no Sundays, no holidays, all the year. If you can do it, it's not easy. For sure it's not easy. But if you can keep doing it, that's where it matters. And that's where big companies are brought up. So there are a lot of brilliant people. Again, you need to bring them on board, and you need these brilliant sparks to build a company. And obviously you need a lot of leadership. Not a lot, maybe one or two of them at least. People need someone whom you can look up to. What's the most frustrating part in any kind of environment is when you don't have anyone look up to. So I mean, imagine if you're going to a class taught by a professor whom you don't think is eligible to be teaching in the first place. You'll get frustrated, right? So this happens all the time. So you need to be in an environment where the leader is someone whom you can look up to. And if you want to become a leader yourself, you need to prepare yourself to take up the responsibility. It's not easy. It comes with lots and lots of responsibility and lots of patience. So as I said, you need to start from the beginning. You need to say, I am going to be the best. And then I'll ask people to be better. So you need to lead right from the beginning. You need people who can lead from the beginning. Some people are good leaders, born leaders. Some people are not so good leaders. It doesn't matter. So what really matters is, again, bring leaders on board and ability to work with it. Sometimes you might have to do that. For example, if you take Google's example, they brought in Eric Schmidt, and he became the CEO, and the founders, they took a side step and still work with it and build a big, beautiful company. So you don't necessarily have to be the leader, but again, leadership is something that you need to understand that is essential to a company, and it does matter quite a bit. In our case, we have our CEO who's experienced, who's been in the industry for a while. So we were lucky in that front. We had a leader who can lead from the front. he has a family, he is 40 something, and he still stays up all night or all day at work. So if you are 20, 21, 22, 23, you have no family, you have nothing else to do worthwhile in life anyway, what can you say? If you have someone who's of such stature working with you, obviously you would feel like working. So you need people like that, and when you find people like that, you should grab that and work with them. And obviously you need to have lots of fun. So when I say fun, obviously I was not referring to the lunches that our Bangalore team was having. I was referring to the fun when you write something or when you develop something, and the amount of fun that you derive out of it. So you need to be able to create an environment where people can have fun and get satisfied. And when they come to work in the morning, when they come to work, when they go out of work in the evening, they need to feel that, hey, I had fun today. So fun is an essential part. Fun doesn't necessarily mean, as I said, crazy stuff. Fun means something that you built and you get some satisfaction out of it, whether it is a product or whether it is something that changed the company. And obviously you need a lot of money. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it because when I was here, I was always curious about how companies are funded. So there are a lot of ways you can take, you can generate money for your company. So there is angel investments. Angels are usually, obviously, in the beginning there is your own self money. Obviously, almost all of us are not as rich to put in your own money to start a company. Even if you want to, even if you can afford to, you shouldn't, because that just doesn't validate your company if you put in your own money. There's angel investments. Angels are rich individuals who know the domain, who trust you, and they give you money out of some equity or some either by a loan or equity. And it's in smaller order of money, but you can still take it. You can bootstrap your company and get to a place where you can really take in more money. And obviously there are venture capitalists, private equity firms. These people give you real money, millions of dollars or even more, and they take equity in your company and they come on board, and if you really have a right VC, he'll help you. If you really have a wrong VC, he'll screw you. So it's quite a challenge to find the right VC. But the most important part for an individual, for an entrepreneur is it's very exciting to take money, obviously, right? It's very exciting to have dollars in your account. But you need to understand why you want the money and what you need to understand. And this is what any VC is going to ask you. What are you going to do with my money? And unless you have an answer for that question, you should not raise any money. But once you have that answer, you should be able to raise money pretty easily. So money is not a question. If you have a cool idea, if you have a great team, you can always raise money. These are three things the VC or investor will see in a company. One is the technology or the growth or the potential. Number two is the team. Everything circles around the team. What is the team? Where is the team from? Whether they have experiences, or are they the right people to do it? And number three is if you have built any prototype, that will definitely help to understand the investor to understand what you're going to do. So I'll go a little bit deeper into, from an individual perspective, what it means to be an entrepreneur. So the first thing that, coming from an IIT again, there's a lot of system built around you. And in the first year when I came in, they were teaching me biotechnology and chemistry, and they were asking me, they were talking about how DNA gets transformed into RNA or some crap like that. No offense, Ben, if you're any biotechnology engineers here, but I really didn't understand why they were teaching me all that crap. And I was frustrated. I was really, really frustrated because all I wanted to do, even before I came to college, was to program. All I wanted to do was take my computer and code and code and code. And I literally had no idea why I was being taught the same physics, maths, and chemistry, and even biology now. Again. So it took me a while to understand that the system is not designed for an individual. So this IIT system, this education system in general, is designed as a collective environment. So there is a lot of people came around, a lot of good people, a lot of successful people came out of the same system that you're going through right now. So have some trust in it. It is designed in keeping a lot of people in perspective, not just you. And it is natural for you to feel that you're out of the system because it is not built for you. If you want a system built for you, go to your parents. If you're rich enough, have homeschooling. It will work well for you. And it might be good, but this system is definitely not built for you. It is built for a lot of people, and it has full capability to screw you. But at the same time, you have to trust it because a lot of people have come out of it, and there are a lot of successful people come out of it. But at the same time, you have to be very careful not to follow it. Again, because if you follow it, there is no difference between coming from an IIT and there is no difference between coming out of some local university. Maybe you'll earn a lakh more here and there. Maybe you'll have a better car. Maybe you have a better wife. That's it. But the system, don't follow it. It's not about textbooks. It's not about your grades. If I go recruit, if I am hiring, as I'm hiring right now, I won't go and hire someone just because he's a topper. But at the same time, topping a class is not a bad thing, by the way. It is a good thing as long as it is under some constraints. So it cannot be an obsession. Topping a class, getting a good grade cannot be an obsession. It should come naturally to you. If it doesn't, so be it. It's not about topping, it's about learning. It's about how much you learn at the end of the day. And also, because we are all excited, because we are all very young and energetic, we all think that we are doing something, radical right here in the campus. Let me be very blunt with you. You're not doing anything special here. You're all just undergrad students. And what this course is designed is to give you a breadth of what is out there. So you are expected, when you graduate, you are expected to know a little about a lot of things as opposed to a lot about a single thing. So this is not a PhD. At least I'm talking in the context of undergrads because that's I had a BTech degree. MTech and PhD perspective might be slightly different, but coming from BTech's perspective, you're just here to learn a little about a lot of things. As long as you have that, that's good enough. Don't read too many books. They have, I said, they can really normalize you. Find your own way of learning things. So you be in the system, don't go away, don't revolt, but again at the same time create a system that where you can survive, where you can better yourself. So eventually in 4 years, 95% of you will find a way to learn all by yourself and to survive. So it will be okay, just be patient, you'll all be fine. So just relax. I said, you're not going to become a rocket scientist. None of you are going to become rocket scientists at the end of 4 years. Or none of you are going to split atoms here. But what you guys are going to do is you'll come out with lots and lots of dreams which are customized for yourself. And it's it's like a bunch of guys coming out with a lot of dreams, and whether you're going to make them true or not will depend upon what you learned in this 4 years. It doesn't necessarily mean technology, it means a lot of other things, but focus on what you learn as opposed to how much grades you have. And grades will come, for sure they will come. And the other important thing is to grab your chances. This comes again with the passion part. You won't get chances when you want them to. But you can create or you can enable yourself to be in a position to take a chance when it comes in your way. So you have to be ready, you have to be a good judge of when a chance comes to you. It doesn't matter if it is big or small, it doesn't matter if it is Gautam Barua giving you a project or some your own shower idea that you want to work on. It doesn't matter. You have to take your chance and grab it with both hands and pursue it. During my 4 years in IIT, I did a lot of junk stuff, a lot of projects which don't make any sense. If I look back at them, they were probably really dumb things to do. But what mattered is I worked on them. So that's what would matter. That will at least train you guys to channel your energy in a right way. So it's always a good idea to grab your chances whenever they come across and then take it forward. And stay hungry. It is not enough. Anything that you do is not enough. It doesn't matter if you published a paper in some journal. It doesn't matter if you have a patent. It doesn't matter if you're a topper or if you get admitted into MIT. It doesn't matter because it's over. What happens next is going to depend upon how much hungry you are. Don't feel sorry for yourself. This world is not fair. Nobody is going to be fair to you. And don't be fair to yourself either. There's no excuse. Hey, come on, you were in Guwahati, you were in an IIT, maybe you flunked a course. Don't be sorry. It's just, if you start feeling sorry about yourself, then probably you should find a government job. Because if someone comes and tells me that, yeah, I worked for all night yesterday, so I'm tired. That is a sign of people feeling sorry for themselves. Because nobody cares. In the world, nobody really cares how much you did or what you did. Everybody would eventually care about how much they get out of what you did. So as a company, this is very important because I have 20 people in my team. Let's say if I give you a product, right? If I deliver a product to IIT, which I was hoping to record your lectures and students can talk with each other on video or collaborate, would you really worry or would you really sympathize with me if I say that one of my team members was working so hard, so he wanted a break for a couple of days? You don't give a shit, right? Because you want it to be working. So nobody feels sorry. So don't feel sorry when you're in a company, whether you're on Google or whether you are in a startup, whether you have your own startup. You cannot feel sorry for yourself. Whether you're working for 24 hours, whether you're working for all night, all 365 days, whether you're out of your life, whether you don't have any life as such. If you are away from your family all the time, you can't afford vacation, you don't have any girlfriend or boyfriend, doesn't matter. Stop feeling sorry about it. It's because you're here or you're going to be somewhere because you want to do something, and people who accept it and who look up to tomorrow are only going to make a difference. Otherwise, just pick up some regular job. Google's and Microsoft, they will do you well, because they'll give you an opportunity to work 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 and just go home and sleep and do all the things I said before. Again, depending on some constraints. But if you're in the business of innovation, if you're in the business of making your own path, don't feel sorry. Don't feel sorry. Stay hungry, and things will come, because if you're special, you don't need to be sorry about anything. And you also have to give in. When I say give in, again, I go back to point saying you have to let yourself completely into something that you believe. You cannot have second thoughts. Actually, a lot of times I hear, and even here I keep hearing the word risk. Risk, security, having second options. You can't think about what will happen if you don't succeed. Startup or an entrepreneur is not about success or failure. It's about building something that you want to build. Who cares if it is successful or not? But at the same time, success is important, because success is the only thing, it's a fuel for all entrepreneurs, but it's not an obsession. So that's where I talk about persistence. So you have to keep persisting with what you're doing. You will fall at the same time. Just doesn't work. Forget about it. What you have to lose, you don't have a family, at least most of you. You have nothing to lose, basically, and you just have to give in. There is no risk. I didn't take any risk. I did something because I was having fun. Losing or quitting my job was not a risk. Dropping out of my college was not a risk. Because risk is something when you don't know what you want. Risk is something when you jump off a roof or something like that. You're not jumping off a roof, you're believing in yourself. If you get screwed up, if someone is going to screw you up, it's going to be yourself. There is no risk in being an entrepreneur. There is no security in being an entrepreneur. You just do things because you feel like doing. It's no different from falling in love. You can't think about what will happen if you don't succeed. Startup or an entrepreneur is not about success or failure. It's about building something that you want to build. Who cares if it is successful or not? But at the same time, success is important, because success is the only thing, it's a fuel for all entrepreneurs, but it's not an obsession. So that's where I talk about persistence. So you have to keep persisting with what you're doing. You will fall. For sure you will fall. Guaranteed. Each and every one of you are going to fail. No doubt about it. When I say fail, what I mean is not like going bankrupt or anything, but you're going to not get something that you want to get at some point or other in your life, and it's very easy to give up. I flunked in physics twice. So I was depressed. There are other factors. I have to admit I didn't just flunk because I wrote the exam badly. There were other factors which I probably should discuss here, considering that I am in the college. The reason I'm talking about that is because it was depressing. Because coming from where you guys are, you were all you pretty much you topped your class wherever you went. In your schools, you always used to getting full marks. All of a sudden, you come here and you start getting B's and C's and even F's sometimes, and it bothers you, right? So that is where you persist, because everything has a reason, because everything will be connected at the end of the day. Now if I look back, maybe all the frustrations I had also helped me to get where I am right now. So just keep persisting, just keep pushing yourself. Don't get frustrated. At the same time, when I didn't mean go ditch and go start failing, that was not my intention. My intention was to say that there are going to be factors beyond your control that are going to cause you fail. But that should never deter you from doing what is in your control in the only way that is possible, that is your way. So forget about things that are beyond your control, but you keep persisting with your strengths, you keep persisting with what you are good at, and you will eventually reap the benefits. One example I would like to give here is a lot of people give up and say from third year, they say that they want to do an MBA. I'm sure at least 50% of you are already thinking about an MBA. So some people give up and take their call. Some people think that MBA is the next option because they don't see themselves to be a technocrat. But while you're here, I would strongly encourage you guys to focus on what you're good at, or why you are here, because you are a technologist in the first place. You can probably go and do an MBA and do stockbroking or do some banking. You might do well there, but that doesn't mean you have to give up right now on the technology that you're learning right now. So focus on what you're doing right now. Trust it because you're a technologist. Then, if you still want to do an MBA, go ahead and do it. The reason I'm so against MBA is because I've seen a lot of people, friends from my college, from my batch, they pick MBA because it's an easy choice. Because you can't code properly, you want to go and do an MBA. That is not a compelling reason to do an MBA. An MBA, you want to do an MBA because you really want to do an MBA. But do you really know what an MBA means right now? Of all the 50%, I'm sure 90% of them have no idea what an MBA means. So don't just get tangled with all this really, really complex stuff. Do what you are doing right now, and when time comes, it will come to you, for sure. Trust me on it. And again, I want to bring up a point here that entrepreneurship or building a company is not the same as building a business. Building a business is different. A business or whatever you get out of MBA is completely different from being an entrepreneur or from building a company, at least in a technological context. So you can build a company right out of your engineering degree. You can build a company right, all you need to do is find what you're good at. I'm a founder of a company, I'm a CTO of vivu, and apart from giving these odd talks or all evangelism, which is probably not even 1% of the time, all I do in my day-to-day life, every single day, is just to program. I don't have an MBA degree. I probably understand a lot more about running a business than anybody who has an MBA degree. But all I do every day is something I really, really love, which is coding and working on my computer. So where I was getting to is building a company, being an entrepreneur is about doing what you really, really like. It is not about making money, it is not about building a business. You will bring in people who can help you build a business, or you will eventually acquire the talent of building a business. Building a business is essential to building a company, but what is more essential is building a product. So I come from a product background, so if I talk, it sounds exactly the same. I always say that products are the defining factors in company. If you talk to my other MBA colleagues, which I have in my company, they'll tell you product, the company is all about how you market it and how you sell it and how you do blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure they're all important, but what matters eventually is whether the code works or whether it has bugs or not. After that, you can go sell it. If I give you a product which is buggy, you can't sell it, right? So everything has to come into to the place. You can do lots of stuff just by technology, just by trusting what you're here for. So focus on your courses. Focus on what they are meant to teach you as opposed to what they're actually teaching you, because they have no idea what they're teaching you. But what they're meant to teach you is something beyond the textbook. So focus on that, pick it up. Don't get derailed by the thoughts of all these businesses, marketing strategies, sales. These are all very important, but what matters eventually is something that you're going to build, and you can always sell it. Again, I'm not against an MBA or anything. I would love if you guys know any good MBA grad, I would like to offer him a job right now. But the point is, I wouldn't recommend anyone from an IIT in the second year or at least in the first year thinking about an MBA. It's just outright wrong. It's just hypocrisy. So don't fall for it. So, as I said, push yourself. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like a lot of things that they're going to make you do. You're not going to like a lot of things that the world will make you do. But what matters is one or two things that you like in it. So if you see your 24 hours a day, there are going to be times where you want to do a lot of other things. Like for example, you might want to spend time with your family. You might want to go hang around, go date someone, go do a bunch of other stuff. They're all good, but what matters is setting your priorities and pushing yourself. Because what is it that you really, really want? What is it that you really, really want to build? And pick it, and it has to have some collateral sacrifices to be done. And it is not a risk. Don't think about, go 2 years later, what if my company doesn't succeed? Will I get a job or not? Hey, come on, if you can't even find a job, don't even think about starting a company. So you can always find a job. If you just believe in yourself, go do whatever you want. You have lots of time. At the same time, don't over-exaggerate where you are right now. You're not splitting an atom. You're just an undergrad student. So be there, stay there, keep focusing, and yes, there's going to be a lot of chances and opportunities in the future that you can take in and build out of it. And this is one of the lines. When I wanted to quit, I really, really wanted to drop out of IIT in my first year or second year. Actually, second year, first semester, I wanted to say I had enough. I wanted to go out. And someone told me this line: "It's a marathon. It's not a sprint." So again, it's about how you pace yourself. If you burn yourself out in the first 100 meters, nobody's going to give you a medal. Because it's not a sprint. You have to do it for the next 30 years or 40 years. You have to keep doing the same thing that for the next 40 years. And all these 4 years, if you put in the perspective of those 40 years, are nothing but a mere reflection. They don't matter. They don't really matter. All that matters is how much you learn out of these things and how much you can use it to leverage as a leverage point, as a vantage point to move ahead. That's all. It's just another step. Don't over exaggerate it. It's a marathon. It's like if you it's like playing a test match innings versus playing a 2020 innings. So this is life. So this is something that someone told me when I was going through the same thinking process about what it means. It is a marathon. Imagine you have to do the same thing for 40 years. And there's going to be a lot of factors coming into your life. Family, career, money, dogs, kids. Still you have to do it for 40 years. And every single day you have to keep innovating. Whether you're doing business or whether you're doing technology, whether you're doing teaching. Every single day you have to keep innovating. The moment you stop innovating, you're not an entrepreneur anymore. So if you're preparing for a life like that, you can't be bogged down by what is happening in today. What is happening today, you take it and take a vantage point and move ahead, and hopefully at least one of you guys will make a difference, and that will mean a lot for the country, for yourself, for the world in general, because the technology changes everything. Look at what Facebook did with countries. I mean, they're toppling governments now. So you can make an impact. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg never thought that he'll topple a government, right? He's not a terrorist. He's not a commando. He's just built a social networking site. So you don't know what is in offer in the future, but what you really want to do is what's happening today, and don't get bogged down by it, and keep it and move forward. So don't think a lot about what if you fail, what if I get a job, do I keep a job, do I get good grades, do I top my class? It doesn't matter. Always think about how much you're learning. That's it. I want to stop boring you guys if I did. And as I said, we are growing into a much, much bigger company. And unfortunately, we are a software company. So I am a programmer by heart, by nature. So this is probably for all the computer science students here, or anybody who can program. I don't care. We are obviously hiring. We are growing both in the US and India. And if you think you can program, if you really, really think you can program, if you really think that you're a programmer, then send me a resume. That's it. If anybody has any questions, I can take them for maybe 2 minutes.
Start recording.
Oh, I promised you I'll talk about it. So, US is a capitalistic country. India is a socialist country. So that's where the difference starts. So most of the companies are socialist here. So they talk about society, they talk about bringing change in the society, they talk about people, they talk about a lot of things which are not necessarily good and bad. One actually makes you build something that you, out of your experience, one make you build something and then you sell it to others. So obviously in India you start with low capital because you're not sure whether people will buy it or not. You're not bullish. So you start building something and try to test it. You take some money and you'll eventually build an empire of family heritage. That's what Tatas and Birlas did to this country. Now you build a company over generations, 5, 6 generations you build a company. That's not what Bill Gates did, as you guys know. So that's not what Steve Jobs does. I see a lot of such kind of an environment building in India also. So people are building companies just out of passion. They don't care if someone will buy it or not. They don't care if they make money or not, because they are sure that that is a product that they will use themselves and they can convince others to buy it. So this is the difference. And the infrastructure in Silicon Valley is slightly different because they have a lot of investors, VCs, both angel and VCs. In India, you take loans. People are still scared about equity, giving away your company. People still talk about ownership, partnership, all that bullshit. There's nothing like that. Company is all about what it is building, and you are in the company because you're building something that you want to build. Obviously, even the titles look different. Here you have proprietor, owner, managing director, all of that. There you don't have any titles like that. It is different from a philosophical perspective. You don't have partners, you have executives. So that's the difference. I see the lady trying to push me. So any other questions? All right. Thank you guys.
you, mentor. If anyone has any more questions with regard to this lecture, you can ask the same at the networking lunch, or if you meet him outside lecture theatre. We now break for lunch, and I request everyone with food coupons to proceed for the same towards the CC basement. The event will resume at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.